recording this meeting. Everyone, welcome to the third and final meeting of the presentations of the three remaining operators in the RFP process to select an operator and a site for the city of Richmond. For the city of Richmond to vote on in November. My name is Maritza Peachin. I work for the city. I manage the Office of Equitable Development. And I am here with Leonard Sledge, the Director of Economic Development, and also a team of folks from Bally. Bridget McMillan, could you stop sharing your screen, please? Or sharing your video? Thank you. Everyone, please, welcome to the meeting, and it is being recorded. We will be posting this recording on our website at the tomorrow, so anyone can watch a video of this at tomorrow. And we'll be taking questions at the end of the meeting. Go ahead, Leonard, kick it off.
Thank you, Maritza. Good evening, everyone. As was shared, my name is Leonard Sledge, and it's my privilege to serve as the Director of Economic Development for the City of Richmond. We are really appreciative of your time tonight to come and to hear the presentation from the Bally team in terms of their proposed casino project in the City of Richmond. A couple of things that I'd like to share with everyone tonight. We do clearly recognize that there are very strong feelings about the proposed casino projects across the city, the three that we have. Very strong feelings, both positively and negative, about the who, what, where, why, and how. I just want to encourage and urge everyone that we will have a civil discourse, civil discussion this evening. Any conversation, whether it be live during the meeting or in the chat room, that is derogatory and not, again, in the spirit of a great civil discourse, you will be immediately and swiftly removed from the meeting. And so I just want to encourage everyone, we want to allow as much time as possible to hear your thoughts, to hear your questions, and to hear your concerns of the Bally team. That's why we have them on with us tonight, as we had with the one casino and resort team last night and the live casino and hotel project on Tuesday night. We're going to have a presentation directly from the Bally team. And again, you can ask your questions directly of them. Maritza and I will be facilitating a conversation in terms of questions from those who raised their hands and also from questions in the chat room. We also recognize that several people are calling in by phone, and we will allow opportunities for people who've dialed in to ask their questions as well. But again, just really thankful and appreciative of your time. The meetings this week have been absolutely wonderful in terms of the participation and engagement. We originally only set aside about an hour and 15 minutes, an hour and a half, but each of the meetings this week rather have gone till 8:30 as the absolute latest. As long as there are citizens engaged in the Bally team available to answer questions, we will field as many questions as we can, again, until 8:30 this evening. And so with that, Maritza, I'd like to turn it back over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Right now, the chat is disabled, but when the Bally team finishes their presentation, we will open the chat so that you can put in questions. Please mute your video. I will call you out if your video is showing. We don't want any embarrassing moments happening. You can also raise your hand during the Q&A portion of the meeting, and that's when they end their meeting. We'll open up Q&A for you guys to chat, for you guys to share your thoughts. So I wanted to start off the meeting by going over some of how we got here. So in 2019, the Virginia General Assembly adopted a legislation to permit casino gaming in 5 municipalities. Excuse me. That's Bristol, Danville, Norfolk, Portsmouth, and Richmond. However, they declared that the legislation would not go into immediate effect, and they required JLARC to do a study on casino gaming. And then they said that the General Assembly would then approve casino gaming the following year. Then JLARC reported their study in November 2019. You can find that on JLARC's website. In January and February of 2020, the Richmond City Council had at least 4 meetings where they talked about the legislation that was before the Virginia General Assembly to approve resort gaming, to allow resort casinos in 5 localities. And during the February 3rd meeting of council, they came to a general consensus that they would like the opportunity to explore bringing casino gaming to Richmond, provided that the city would have local control over selecting the casino operator and site via a competitive process. So that launched the process that we're in right now. In April 2020, Governor Northam signed an updated casino legislation, and then that gave us the right that City Council asked for in February to select the site and operator. In November 3rd, all 4 other localities in the state of Virginia had referendums on their ballots, and all 4 approved casino gaming in their localities, with a range of 65 to 71% of voters saying yes. In November 2020, the city of Richmond issued a survey to collect input on the RFP that the city would be releasing. That RFP went out in December. In January, the city's Economic Development Authority hired a consulting firm called Convergent Strategies. They helped conduct a market assessment of casino gaming in the city, and they conducted that market assessment prior to the city receiving the proposals. And that full market assessment is available on the city's website, and I'll show you where that is. In February, the city received 6 proposals from 6 operators for 5 different sites. And then in late February, the evaluation panel started community engagement to gain input from the community of Richmond on resort casino gaming, and also like the benefits, mitigation strategies, potential uses of revenue. And then now the evaluation panel, which consists of myself, Leonard Sledge, 2 city council members, and 5 other city administrative officials, winnowed down the group to 3, and those 3 not the 6, out of the 6, those 3 have been presenting their proposals. On Tuesday, live, Cordish presented their proposal for live resort and casino at the Movieland site. Yesterday, Urban One presented their proposal for 1 resort and casino down on the south side in the El Tria site, and then tonight we have Bally's. There are YouTube links to the previous 2 presentations on our websites, as well as videos, some like little videos that each one of the proposers made about their projects, and 1-pagers. The evaluation panel will select a preferred operator and site in May, and that recommended operator and site will be given to City Council, and City Council can then select that preferred operator site and submit it to the Virginia Lottery for pre-certification. So that would happen in June. And then there's process related to the Virginia Lottery and the courts in order to get the operator and site put on the ballot. And November 2nd, 2021, every single voting resident of the city of Richmond will be able to vote on their ballot, and they will be able to answer the question, shall casino gaming be permitted at a casino gaming establishment in the city of Richmond, Virginia, and in this place it would say the location, as may be approved by the Virginia Lottery Board. Every single voting Richmonder. So that means if you last November had the option to vote for the mayor of the city of Richmond, that means that, and you still live at that same address or somewhere within the confines of the city of Richmond boundaries, you will be able to vote on this question. If you are a property owner but do not live in Richmond, you will not be able to vote on this. If you are a business owner but you do not live in Richmond, you will not be able to vote on this. It's only if you reside within the city of Richmond that you will be able to vote on this question.
One clarification on that: a registered voter who's casting their ballot in the city of Richmond.
Yes, correct. All of this information and more is available on the city's economic development website, which is rva.gov/economic development economic-development/resort-casino. You can also probably find it just by Googling RVA Resort Casino. It should show up in that listing. This website has a board. We recently put a new board up. That doesn't mean that we got rid of the other comments. We still have that board and you can still see it. We just put up a new board that's cleaner so that more people can add more comments on top of it. Thank you for all of the comments that we've received so far. We are viewing them, we are reading them. Also, if you email our email address, we're also filtering and reading those as well. That's econdev@richmondgov.com. And with that, I will turn it over to the team from Bally to present their proposal.
George, thank you again to you and your team for being present. I'll leave it up to you to introduce the members of the team who are here, and also just so that we're consistent with what we've done through the week with the other two groups that presented. Originally, we had planned 15 to 20 minutes, but as their presentations ran a little long, we gave everyone till approximately 30 minutes, but I will pull out the shepherd's hook at the 30-minute point. And you can take it away.
I think George might be having connection difficulties, so I can step in. So good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. On behalf of George Papineer, who's the CEO of Bally Corporation, it's our honor to be able to present to you tonight. First and foremost, we are extremely grateful for the opportunity to present to you all on a proposal to develop and operate the Bally's Richmond Casino Resort. We appreciate the Richmond Evaluation Panel making this presentation possible and hope that everyone on this video meeting is able to learn more about our deep commitment to the Richmond community. We are among the largest casino operators in the country and have the greatest momentum of any operator currently in the United States. We're building a truly unique company which would feature Bally's Richmond as the centerpiece of our Atlantic Coast strategy. We at Bally's are tremendously excited about this opportunity, and we hope that our deep operational expertise and commitment to Richmond come through in this presentation tonight. My name is Michael Monti. I'm the Senior Project Manager for Bally's. I'm going to be joined tonight by the Chief Marketing Officer, Phil Giuliano, in addition to our two equity partners, Willie Lanier Jr. and Warren Thompson. We are also joined by our traffic and engineering consultant, Drew Gold from the Timmons Group. Additionally, we want to thank Willie Lanier Sr., NFL Hall of Famer, and another one of our equity partners for being here tonight, as he will be integral in our community outreach and has already done so much for the Richmond community. We have a lot to cover, so let's jump right into it. First and foremost, we feel strongly that we're the best casino proposal for the entire city of Richmond. And I'll tell you why we believe that. We're the largest and most diverse casino operator of all the remaining finalists. We have a deep experience in greenfield casino development projects like this one and substantial resources at our disposal to ensure that this project is executed the correct way. Developing and operating casinos is what we do. We have an excellent track record of similar development projects, and Richmond will be no different. We also have outstanding equity partners joining our project in the Lanier family and Warren Thompson and Thompson Hospitality, who will both speak to you shortly in greater detail about their involvement. Additionally, unlike the other finalists, we are completely conflict-free. We have no properties within 200 driving miles of Richmond, and we plan for Bally's Richmond to be the vanguard of our Atlantic Coast growth initiative. We believe that we offer the most attractive project by far and the greatest economic value for Richmond. Our proposal is the largest in terms of size, with $650 million of community-focused investment, which will serve as an economic engine for the city of Richmond. We also have an outstanding location for all of Richmond. Our site is situated on a 61-acre panel in an attractive low-crime location with convenient access across all areas of the city. In fact, residents will be able to visit our facility with just a 15-minute drive from anywhere in the city, something that no other bidder can say. This will truly be a property for all of Richmond. We have also developed a plan for easy access from all directions, and at the same time, we have cut-off access to and from Forest Hill Avenue, so we have alleviated any potential traffic issues. Additionally, our proposal will generate the most economic value for the city of Richmond. It starts with an unrestricted, upfront, $100 million payment to the city, plus an ongoing revenue stream that demonstrates our commitment to this project and Richmond. We estimate that the project will generate total economic activity of $5.3 billion over 10 years and $8 billion over 15 years, generating significant economic stimulus. In Richmond, we have created an innovative, first-of-its-kind rewards program called Richmond Rewards, whereby we will incentivize players and guests to redeem the rewards they earn at our casino, but at local small businesses within Richmond. And Phil Giuliano, our Chief Marketing Officer, will talk in depth about that shortly. Now, a little bit about Bally's Corporation. We are a diverse multi-property gaming company that continues to grow in size and scale. We started with one asset in Lincoln, Rhode Island in 2010 and have grown to 15 casinos in 11 states, pending recent acquisitions. We have 6,000 amazing employees and growing, and we have recently entered the sports betting and iGaming marketplace with acquisitions of proprietary technology, our media partnership with Sinclair Broadcast Group, and our recent acquisitions of free-to-play and daily fantasy sports platforms. We are truly the first omni-channel gaming company in the United States. But Bally's is more than just a number of properties we own or the number of people we employ. At Bally's, our priority is making a positive impact on the communities in which we operate and the people that we employ. It's about doing the right thing, helping the average person advance. We are dedicated to hiring veterans, underrepresented minorities, and other underrepresented groups. I can attest to that as a veteran of the United States Army. I had to put in my plug. We promote the development of these underrepresented groups through courses and training and create an environment that is inclusive and sensitive to all cultures. We want to make our communities better. A critical part of that is making sure we know what's important to the community. We want to do what's best for the community. We want to listen to the community, get feedback, and adjust accordingly. We want to bring our knowledge and expertise to the city of Richmond to develop and operate world-class destination resorts, a world-class destination resort that Richmond's residents and businesses deserve. We want to bring our knowledge and expertise to the city of Richmond to develop and operate the world-class business that I mentioned. Most importantly, we have a strong commitment to first-in-class social responsibility and building strong relationships with local businesses. And by far and away, we're the most experienced casino operator of the three finalists. We know how to do this. We have a proven track record of execution throughout the country. Now I'll turn it over to Warren.
Great. Thank you so much, Michael, for that introduction. Good evening. My name is Warren Thompson, and I'm Chairman and CEO of Thompson Hospitality. You might ask, what am I doing here tonight? Well, I'm here with great pride to present what I think is a phenomenal team to run the program, the Casino Project in Richmond, Virginia. I was born about an hour and 45 minutes from Richmond. I was educated an hour from Richmond. I've lived in Virginia just about my entire adult life. So I am so excited to bring a project like the Bally's Casino and Resort to Richmond, Virginia. My company today is a family-run company. My sister and brother are both involved with me. We've had this company now for almost 30 years. We started it as a relatively small company after I spent 9 years with Marriott and bought 31 restaurants on the way out at the age of 32. We've grown the company now to about an $800 million company operating in 44 states and 6 foreign countries. But we will never forget our roots, the fact that we are Virginia bred, born and Virginia bred. We're happy to say we're the largest minority-owned food service and facilities company in the U.S. And what does that mean? That means when we're talking about a partnership such as the one we're talking about tonight, Thompson will have an active role in operating the casino, whether it's running some of the restaurants, whether it's nurturing and developing and mentoring other smaller businesses who are running restaurants within the casino, whether it's operating some of the plant operations, or merely supporting it with our staff. Thompson has over 6,000 associates today, 300 of whom are working currently in the Richmond city limits. We have an excellent track record of nurturing other companies. Over the course of the last 25 years, we've had a partnership very similar to what we're talking about with Bally's, with another large global player. That partnership grew from zero business in 1997 to operating over $2 billion worth of business in the US today. And in support of that, we have mentored and nurtured over 200 companies into that partnership. What does that mean? It means we find the company, we sign an agreement with that company, but we don't just leave that company, that smaller company, to struggle on its own. We work with them. We get them through the procurement system. We give them the support of our purchasing power. And as is the case with COVID, we would help them fill out the PPP forms so that they could apply for the needed financing to survive. So we're talking about creating a situation where we can find local, smaller companies, bring them into the project, and then make sure they're successful. When it comes to community involvement, we're going to all talk about community involvement going forward, but Thompson has been active in the community for the last 30 years. We've contributed over $50 million to schools and colleges and universities that we serve, mostly historical Black colleges and universities across the country. But specifically in Virginia, we've had the pleasure of being the partner at Norfolk State, Virginia State, Hampton-Sydney College, the University of Virginia, and Virginia Union University. We've contributed over $20 million to those schools over the last 15 to 20 years that we have been involved. We've hired students out of those schools. We've nurtured and supported the hospitality programs within those universities. And we're so excited as we began our discussions of launching a hospitality program at Virginia Union University. That will happen. I am confident that it will happen, and I'm certain we're the right partner to make that happen. We've also talked about, and you've heard much about, what are we going to do for the associates? Well, Thompson has been, and Bally's is as well, very, very committed to the success of our associates. We're going to make sure that the average associate is making at least $25 an hour or $52,000 annually. No employee will make less than $15 an hour in today's dollars. By the time this project opens, I estimate that will be approximately $17 an hour with inflation. We're a firm supporter of increasing the minimum wage. We've always supported that. We will continue to do so. We will also offer a competitive 401 program and medical benefits. We believe our associates need to be taken care of so that they can take care of our guests. It's a very, very simple formula, but it's worked for our company the last 30 years. We're going to guarantee 4,300 construction jobs to build this. And we're then going to have 2,000 permanent positions once the project is open. We've created a partnership with UNA, which is the International Labor's Union. Right up front, we've embraced them as a partner because we believe that they can guarantee success by helping us really bring in local qualified construction workers to build this project. Richmond has the talent. We believe in that, and we're happy to work with LIUMA to make that happen. We're going to have MBE participation goals, at least 30% for construction and 40% for professional services. We believe that using the local market to bring in brands is the way to go. We've had some discussions already. We've heard of a lot of qualified local restaurateurs. Once the city picks the partner, everybody will be a free agent, and we will work with the city in identifying the best participants in this project that will reflect the local community. The last point I want to get across is I will never put my name on a project that I'm not proud of. I've had serious discussions with Bally's, and we see eye to eye on how this project should be operated. As an example, our associates will be reflective of the community from top to bottom and from bottom to top. We will reflect the demographics of Richmond at all levels of the organization. So those 2,000 associates, when it gets up to the top echelon of that operation will reflect Richmond in terms of the demographics. You have my word on that. I'm excited about what we're presenting to you tonight. I look forward to your questions. But now let me introduce our other partner in this operation, Willie Lanier Jr., a young man I've known for over 20 years. It's funny how things work, but Willie actually was a part of the Thompson family for a period of time. I'd like to take pride in saying, you know, we helped him get to where he is today. But no, Willie was sharp then. I knew he would go on to great things, and he has done that. So let me turn it over to my good friend, Willie Lanier Jr.
I'm checking to see if he maybe got knocked out of the presenter. Let's see. Oh, he probably did. One moment, everyone. Sometimes things happen. Here, I have Willie Lanier Sr.
But it's while you're working to get Willie back into the presenter mode to the Bally team, are we okay to proceed on in the presentation and then come back to him just in the interest of time this evening? And please accept our apologies for the glitch.
Yes, we can proceed.
Thank you.
Great. Well, I will continue on, and if after this slide, I'll check back and see if Willie's available. So, you know, we have some other strategic partnerships. Willie will talk about some, but I wanted to talk about others.
I think he's
These
back.
partnerships,
Are you available now, Willie? If you unmute on your end. I have made him a presenter. But he's not unmuting, so you go ahead and keep going.
great. So, I want to talk about our partnerships. These partnerships will ensure that our project fosters significant opportunities for Richmond's local groups and organizations, as well as small, emerging, and minority-owned businesses. First, as Bally's is a platinum member of the Virginia Council on Problem Gaming, and the only member of the bidders that have submitted thus far. This membership is indicative of the emphasis that Bally's places on responsible gaming, and it reinforces our commitment to the Richmond, Virginia community. In fact, in 2020 alone, we spent more than 4,500 hours conducting responsible gaming training throughout our workforce, ensuring that employees at all of our properties are prepared to provide assistance to players that need it. We will work with the council to promote awareness of problem gaming and collaborate on initiatives to promote responsible gambling practices across the state. We're also very pleased to have received committed support for our project from the Virginia Asian Chamber of Commerce, the Carolinas Virginia Minority Supplier Development Council, and the Northern Virginia Black Chamber of Commerce. These organizations play an integral role in advocating on behalf of minority businesses, and we look forward to partnering with them to create opportunities to grow and develop. While we have secured some outstanding local partners, we have really only just begun to form the relationships within the community, and there's so much more to come. I'll pause there to see if Willie is unmuted.
He is a presenter and he should be able to unmute. So if one of you all can reach him.
Well, I'll just keep continuing on, and then after every slide, I'll check back.
Okay, great.
Let's keep time going. All right, so we're the only bidder with no conflicts. Another reason why we are the best partner is because we are completely conflict-free. Based on the conversion study that was mentioned earlier, it is estimated that 22% of gaming revenues will come to Richmond from Richmond, and 78% will come from external markets as far away as 2.5 hours of drive time. This has a profound effect on the other bidders, as their conflicts with other nearby properties will likely draw business away from Richmond. Richmond is our sole and exclusive focus in this region. We have no conflicting priorities, while other operators will have to choose to funnel business between Richmond and their properties. We do have a casino. We do not have a casino within 200 driving miles. No other bidder can say that. Urban One has a minority ownership stake in MGM National Harbor, which is approximately 100 driving miles away. On Tuesday, when I was in Richmond, I met a resident who had just returned from a trip from MGM. Their partner, Peninsula Pacific, also owns and operates 5 Rosie's Gaming Emporium locations, 2 of which are in or nearby Richmond. You would essentially be giving that operator a monopoly of Virginia gaming. Additionally, Cordish owns and operates a casino property in Maryland, which is just 135 driving miles away from Richmond. In contrast to the other bidders, Bally's Richmond will be the centerpiece of our Atlantic Coast Growth Initiative. We have a deep conviction in this market, and we will leverage our 15 million person database to drive players to Richmond. As such, we anticipate that Bally's will draw approximately 3.7 million annual visitors to the region, which will clearly generate significant economic stimulus. Also, as we have said, given the conflicts with Urban One and Cordish, it is likely that their existing gaming establishments will pull customers away from Richmond. Richmond, you will have our full attention, and you deserve our full attention. And you deserve the full attention of any operator who wants to enter your market. I'll pause there and check back if Willie's available.
I'm not sure. Maybe someone else on your team can shoot him an email or a text and tell him that we are trying to include him.
Got it. I'll continue on with the same course of action. So another reason why we're the best partner is we have the largest national casino footprint. Richmond needs an experienced, successful casino operator in order to deliver what the city expects from this project. We have a proven track record of developing casinos in new markets, and because of our marketing expertise, we're able to provide superior customer service and have been able to succeed in every new market that we have entered. And we have entered a lot of new markets in the past several years. We've been very successful in all of them. In fact, the revenue generation assumptions for Richmond Casino are $29 to $31 million annually. Achieving this level of success is not a foregone conclusion. It takes a very seasoned, experienced operator to achieve this. All operators are not created equal. If the operator is not able to perform up to the city's expectations, Richmond will not receive the share of the revenue that it deserves. Given the vast size and scale of this project and its importance to the city's development, we hope that Richmond will put its trust in an experienced operator rather than a novice. That is another reason why Bally's is the best partner for Richmond. We have a tremendous and growing national footprint. We're the largest casino operator of all the bidders, and we will have 15 casinos across 11 states once all pending acquisitions are closed. As I mentioned, we will have an expansive database of 15 million connected customers whom we can market the property to. Our vast experience in developing, operating, and improving casinos will enable us to give Richmond the economic opportunity it deserves. We have a proven track record, and we follow through on what we say. Again, I'll pause to see if Willie has overcome the technical difficulties. Onward. We also have, in addition to being the best operator, we have the most attractive project proposal on the table right now. Our vision for Bally's is a $650 million world-class destination hotel and casino that will offer the most comprehensive and state-of-the-art amenities. First, our location is strategically situated for no disruption to the Richmond community with terrific highway access. The Bally's Richmond Casino will span some 117,000 square feet with 2,500 slot machines, 90 table games, 30 poker tables, and a high-limit gaming area and VIP lounge. We will have a 4-star, 250-key hotel with standard rooms, junior suites, and executive suites. An important aspect of the facility will be the 13 distinct food and beverage options, which will be sourced from small businesses, as Warren mentioned, and we will have a rooftop bar with views of the James River. Continuing on why our project is attractive, we will have a Richmond Rewards program whereby all players will be able to redeem rewards from Richmond small businesses from inside the casino, as well as via a mobile app that will develop and integrate with Richmond's rewards program. Phil Giuliano will go in depth on that. We will also have a visitor center for the city of Richmond, which will offer a full range of tourist services that will help guests access local Richmond sites, museums, and other attractions throughout the city. And we will have a 3,000 space, environmentally responsible parking facility. One of the most attractive elements of our project is a 45,000 square foot multi-use event venue with 3,000 high quality seats. We will utilize Bally's extensive entertainment network to bring in large name acts, and also will have the venue for meetings, conventions, trade shows, and other indoor festivals. We have extensive entertainment experience and have the expertise to coordinate major events such as MMA, boxing, and more. Finally, our property features a world-class indoor-outdoor pool in addition to a 6,000 square foot multi-dimensional spa, salon, and health club. I will now turn it over to Drew Gold from the Timmons Group to talk about engineering and traffic.
I believe they have unmuted me now, and I'm able to speak if possible. Let me know when you let me to participate, please.
Willie, Yep.
Thank you,
we'll go
Willie.
back to your
Sorry
slide.
for the challenges. Thank you.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you so much, and thank you for your time this evening. Warren, fantastic presentation of our partner and Thompson Hospitality in terms of our minority outreach and minority equity partners. We look forward to being a very, very instrumental part of the Bally's team as it relates to bringing Bally's RVA to Richmond. We have done significant work and so forth to support what we believe will be one of the best outreach programs out here in the city today. As you can see, in supporting Richmond's economic and advancement, our goal is to bring $5.3 billion in economic value over a 10-year period. Tourism promotion is the key. We believe that with 3.7 annual visitors to the Richmond area by 2026, Richmond will continue to be the premier destination on the East Coast when it comes to food and entertainment. As you know, my father, Willie Lanier Jr., and my mother actually went to Morgan State University and instilled the very rich history and confidence of HBCUs. We hope to continue our support of HBCUs in the Richmond area and surrounding area with Virginia Union University, Virginia State, and so forth. Through that effort, we hope to provide scholarships, education, and training inside the casino, outside the casino through Thompson Hospitality, and also other endeavors in which the Lanier family can bring young opportunities to young students in the Richmond area. I would like to say that Willie Lanier Sr., my father, has been a champion of education and standing up and getting a lot of opportunities as much as he can for the Richmond Public Schools. This program here in career advancement will cater to the Richmond Public Schools as well as to any other students out there. The rotational management training program that Bally's has will require job shadowing workshops and opportunities for local students and individuals to participate on a regular and annual basis. The sponsorships for the work and local charitable organizations of minority and equity partners. Bally's has committed to support the work of the Willie Lanier Scholarship Foundation that we will speak about later in this presentation. That organization has given millions of dollars, over to the scholarship recipients for the high school graduates over the course of the past 30 years. Our collaboration with the city of Richmond is one to ensure that the project is a voice and has a future opportunities for all people in the city. We believe that our commitment to the city is unparalleled and can only grow from this point forward. I would like to indicate that the Lanier family, through Willie Lanier Sr. and myself, who has a company called Lanier United, a minority-owned real estate and development construction firm that's based in Kansas City and also offers opportunities in Richmond, Virginia. Next slide, please. Together, we believe that our partners in this endeavor are the Virginia Council on Problem Gambling, Virginia Asian Chamber of Commerce, Carolinas Virginia Minority Supplier Development Council, and the Northern Virginia Black Chamber of Commerce. These entities and more to come are significant partners of the Bally's program and will allow us to be good community citizens in the near term and far down the road. We have brought the first Richmond casino bidder to become a member. We would emphasize the Bally's places a responsible gaming and commitment to the RVA community. The two business chambers that you see here are significant in their broad reach. More than 47,000 Asian American companies in Virginia that employ more than 97,000 employees. The Carolinas and Virginia Minority Supplier Development Council enhances business opportunities for minority-owned companies via a networking and business development promotion program that is unparalleled. We are thrilled to have the support of the North Virginia Black Chamber of Commerce, and which Thompson Hospitality has been a long supporter of. They have also indicated their support of this opportunity, and we look forward to continuing to work with them on a consistent basis. Moving on. Lanier United has created the opportunities.
Have the technical problems. This is Maritza, but we need to start to wrap it up so that we can get to questions. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Would you like me to continue, or you would like to wrap it up now?
I mean, you guys can have a few more minutes to continue, but then, but try and get towards the end so we can get to questions. Thank you.
Five more minutes.
Yes, thank
Okay.
you. Leonard, much better way to say it. Thank you.
Okay. 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 George, would you like to continue right now?
Yeah.
Wrap up.
Willie, I think we'll talk about we'll skip to Richmond Rewards, because that's an important piece of the story.
Okay.
Phil, go ahead if you're ready.
Thanks, Mike, and thanks to everyone for allowing us this opportunity. Richmond Rewards is a unique interactive program that will incentivize guests to redeem the rewards they earn while playing at the casino at local small businesses such as retailers, restaurants, and service providers in the city of Richmond. As most of you know, the casino awards reward points when one plays at a casino, win or lose. Traditionally, guests could only redeem these points at a limited number of amenities provided by the casino. The Richmond Rewards program increases the versatility of redemption of these points by including the small businesses of Richmond who join the program and hence become a point of redemption. This program is a win-win-win for Bally's, its customers, and the small businesses of Richmond. Guests will, this is how it works. Guests will be able to view the participating businesses' products and services through a virtual mall located within the casino. We think this virtual mall will be a lot of fun for our guests to shop and take advantage of the merchandising that the participating businesses display. Imagine a restaurant indicating that today is half-price wine, and doing this in real time, by the way. It's Tuesday, you're looking at what's going on. You see you've got points, they're redeemed at this local restaurant, and they're selling you the idea that Tuesday is half-price wine. Another place is giving you a discount for whatever, where they're selling. So it's really going to be an interactive space and a kind of a cool space next to our retail shop, and a unique conversation piece for everybody that I think all our guests will get behind. In addition to the virtual mall, guests may download an app that will provide the same information, and so they can shop wherever they may be. Now, we estimate this program will grow Richmond's economy by $30 million annually and will also create 289 new jobs for residents. We're incredibly excited for this program. As we said at the beginning, the program is a win-win-win. The casino believes this style of operation will generate more gaming trips. The guests will be delighted with their variety of redemption possibility of their earned rewards, and Richmond's small businesses will prosper. I'm sure I might have provoked some questions, and I'll be around to answer any of those in the question and answer session. Thanks.
Thanks, Phil. In the last few minutes that we have, we're going to switch to the Timmins group to talk about the site.
Thanks very much, Mike. Good evening, everyone. My name is Drew Gould. I'm a civil engineer at Timmins Group. We're a Richmond-based engineering and traffic consulting firm. We've been working with Bally's on the project's planning and design. We've performed a very detailed traffic analysis of the Bally site to ensure that it does not impact local traffic patterns. We understand that there have been some questions and concerns about the potential for increased traffic, particularly along Forest Hill Avenue. Together with Bally's, we've listened to the community's feedback and developed a comprehensive solution to address this. We want to clarify that the Bally's project entrance and exit plan has no access to or from Forest Hill Avenue and no impact to adjacent neighborhoods. Our solution calls for significant roadway infrastructure investment, which will unlock development opportunities across the region. And 100% of these improvements are at Bally's expense. Vehicle access to the Bally's Casino will be achieved through construction of a new roadway beginning at the intersection of Jank Road and Boulders Parkway, heading north to the Bally site. This will allow very convenient access in all directions on both Powhite and Chippenham Parkways. The other entrance and exit options shown represent Bally's significant commitment to enhance access in the region and to the site. Convenient access is a top priority of Bally's. This access plan will result in very convenient access to the casino and less disruption to existing traffic than the other proposals. Next slide. Together with Bally's, we've also listened to community concerns regarding the protection of natural resources on our site. We are absolutely committed to preserving the natural beauty of our site and have incorporated these resources into our overall design. Importantly, because of existing trees, forested buffers, existing railroad tracks, and physical distance of a quarter mile to the nearest neighborhood, we expect very limited noise impact from Bally's Richmond. We have also integrated the existing streams and wetlands into the overall site plan and will highlight the protected natural features by incorporated walking trails and overlooks to showcase its natural beauty. More than 24 acres of our 61-acre site will remain undisturbed. Bally's is committed to environmental preservation and low-impact development. We will install solar panels on the parking structure and casino rooftops and provide thoughtful, sustainable design techniques throughout the project. Mike, back to you.
Thank you very much, Bally's team. Mike, is there a final slide to wrap it up within the next 60 seconds?
Yeah, I'll leave it right here up on this slide. We are offering a $100 million payment to the city of Richmond for the city of Richmond to decide what to do with it. It's not contingent on revenue growth. It is a statement of confidence both in the city of Richmond and our ability to be a successful operator. So I ask you, the city of Richmond, what do you want to do with the $100 million? Because we're willing to offer it just for the opportunity to build a casino in your city. I'm ready for questions.
Thank you very much, Michael. And again, to everyone, please accept our sincere apologies for the technical glitches that we had for tonight's meeting. Unbeknownst to us, there is a cap of 350 participants on MS Teams. And so some of your neighbors, friends, family, and colleagues may not have been able to get on to the meeting tonight to participate live. But this meeting, as Maritza stated, it is being recorded and it will be posted on the city's economic development website where we have the Resort Casino webpage. And individuals are still able to leave their comments and post questions that they have. And so again, it is absolutely great that we've reached capacity, and at the same time, we apologize that everyone who wanted to physically be in the meeting was not able to be in the meeting. You may try, for those who are not able to be in via video, you may send them a text to see if they are able to try to access the meeting so that they can listen in by telephone, and we'll be taking questions via telephone as well. So with that, we will start into Q&A. If you could just take down the presentation so that we can see the full screen. Maritza and I will facilitate the Q&A for today. We will go back between live questions and questions that are in the chat. And again, would like to remind everyone that we will have a respectful civil discourse in our conversation this evening. And so with that, Maritza, I will turn it over to you.
Thank you, Leonard. I put this slide back up again. If folks can, for folks on the phone, it's our meeting guidelines. Please make sure your camera is muted. You can enter questions into the chat. Please keep it to questions. Leonard and I are trying to read through them, and when there's a lot of comments, it's hard for us to find the questions. You're totally welcome to email comments to econdev@richmondgov.com or put them on our website. Also, if you're having trouble with the chat, people had trouble with the chat yesterday, feel free to email your question to my email address so that I can share it with you. Dimitri, please turn off your camera. Where did my screen go? There we go. Please feel free to email your question to maritza.peachin@richmondgov.com if you're having trouble with it. My email is on the screen right now. If you can't see the screen, it's maritza@richmondgov.com, not Gmail. Don't worry, that's not actually my Gmail, so you guys can't even email me that way. But maritza.peachin@richmondgov.com. So I'm going to start with a question from someone whose hand is raised. Let's see. The first person with their hand raised is, I don't know.
And ladies and gentlemen, please limit yourselves to one question, please.
Yes. We have a lot of questions everywhere. I don't know who this person is. They have a lot of slashes in their name. I'm going to allow you to unmute. You have to unmute on your end and then ask your question aloud. Okay, I'm going to go to Rin. You are next. Rin, I unmuted you and you can ask your question aloud. Rin?
Hello, can everyone hear me?
Yes, great. Welcome. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, I was just doing a little bit of research, as far as how casinos impact the community and things like that. And there's a lot of information out there as far as like what goes on. And I'm pretty confident, from seeing the slides available and stuff like that, that some research and time and effort and also resources have gone into building these proposals. But my concern really is like with the local population, like as far as customers for the casino is going to go, are you planning on those being people from the region? Are they going to be from out of state? Are the customers going to be like what type of demographics are you expecting to be producing most of this revenue for the casino?
I think Phil Giuliano can take that. He's been marketing casinos for longer than I've been.
Rin, you can go ahead and turn off your camera. Thank you for your question.
Well, that's a good question. So what we anticipate is a mixture of just about everything you questioned there. There'll be locals, and we'll have a strong reach. Remember, there's a very important statistic that was shared with everybody, that our database of customers right now is 15 million people. But we are an omni-channel project in the long term, which means our database is going to grow exponentially. So if ever a casino could drive tourism into a city, a casino company, this is going to be the company, because we are unifying all our rewards programs for all our casinos and all our applications, which means sports betting, interactive gaming, fantasy play for free, fantasy sports, all that's going to be connected. So consequently, Richmond is going to be known to a population that today is 15 million. By the time we're done, I couldn't even estimate the millions of people that will be available, that will know about Richmond. So consequently, it's locals, it's a reach within an hour, 2 hours, and then someday a positioning of Richmond as a tourism center by virtue of the relationship with the casino, our casino company.
Thank you for that answer, Phil. And Ren, just to add some additional information, the study that was done by the Convergence Strategy Group for the city of Richmond, looking at all of the proposed, rather not looking at all the proposed locations, but studying 3 locations in the city, their analysis showed that approximately 22% of the revenue of the gross gaming receipts for casino in the city of Richmond would come from within the city limits, so citizens within the city, and the remaining 78% from outside of the city.
Okay, from the chat, and then I will do a phone call. From the chat, I have, will you work with labor unions in the development and operations of your casino in Richmond?
Warren, I know you had mentioned that. Do you have more details on that, on hiring?
Yes. We will work with the union on the construction of the casino. And then as it relates to the operations, we will be very neutral, allow the associates to make their call or their decision as to whether they'd like to join the union, but we will do nothing to try to avoid that. We will be very neutral in that process.
Thank you. All right, if someone on the phone would like to share a thought or a question, please go ahead, unmute with *6 or just pressing mute on your phone.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, how you doing? First of all, I want to say that I'm a returning citizen, and I just want to say that I know you're giving millions of dollars to the city, and I think that's wonderful because our city needs it. But I also want to really commend you for wanting to make sure there will be good jobs for Richmonders to work on building this casino. The jobs this will create for Richmond people who are struggling is something we have needed for so very long. I've been a member of the Labor Union since the Facebook project, which has been over 2 years now, which was located out in the county. And I know, what a good job can do for a family.
Excuse me.
Because,
Excuse me.
hello?
Excuse me. Please limit it to questions, please, just so that we can get in as many questions as we can for the team to answer. Thank you.
I just want to speak on what the union has done for me.
I understand, and I understand, and I appreciate that, but we're limiting it to questions. So, do you have a specific question for the team as it relates to the construction of the project or unions?
Well, okay. Well, I just want to thank y'all for making all labors on this project in the as far as the Richmond residents are.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now from the people with hands raised, we have Lynn Pappas. I will unmute you. Go ahead. Lynn, you are unmuted. You have to unmute on your end and then you can speak. All right, I'm going to KA. I am unmuting you. Go ahead and speak, KA. Kelsey Irvin. Kelsey Irvin, unmute your line.
Maritza, here's a question from the chat for the group. What is your sports book, and will we be able to place bets on the Richmond Squirrels minor league baseball? Also, what are your typical table minimums for blackjack and craps?
That sounds like a question for Phil Giuliano as it relates to sports betting and minimum bets of blackjack.
Our sports book will be Bally Sports, and we're very excited about it. It's new, and BetWorks was a company that we bought that is installing our sports book throughout the nation, and goes live in Colorado very shortly. And our minimum bets that is determined by the amount of participation, visitation we have on a given day. For example, there'll be days when the minimum bet would be $10, $5, and in some cases on what we call carnival games, the non-blackjack games. And then there'll be other times when it's busy and crowded that the minimums will go up. That's a standard way that all casinos operate. And I hope that answers the question.
Thank you, Phil.
Okay, I will go back to Jen McCarthy. Unmute your line. Maybe there's something going on. Emily Wilson?
Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you for your time. I do just want to note that there was quite a few of my neighbors, as you noted, who were trying to join. So I did hear from quite a few. My question is in regards to light pollution. Research has shown that light pollution has direct effects on human health. Additionally, light pollution affects many trees from adjusting to seasonal variations. And research has found that light pollution can alter behaviors, foraging areas, breeding cycles of insects, turtles, birds, fish, reptiles, and other wildlife species. And as you know, this area, we have a lot of those. We're very lucky. Bright electric lights can also disrupt the behavior of birds, and 200 species of birds fly their migration patterns.
Will you please get to your question, please?
Your proposed site is set in a residential neighborhood that houses an important ecosystem related to the James River. How does your company plan to account for the negative impacts of 24/7 casino lights?
Emily, thank you for the question. I'll put it over to Drew from Timmons Group, who's working the site and engineering aspects of the deal.
Thank you, Mike. There's a number of ways that we would address environmental issues and light pollution specifically. First, Bally's is very committed to environmental preservation, and that I think is demonstrated by how we've laid out the site plan. We're doing, I think, a very good job of preserving and protecting the natural wetlands and streams and the resource protection area. So a lot of the wildlife that's out there will still have ample habitat to remain. With respect to light pollution, we will follow all the city ordinances and city codes that speak to that. We will do a detailed lighting plan. We will calculate the lumens throughout the property. We will select fixtures that essentially send the light directly to the ground so that it doesn't pollute the night sky. We will work with city staff to design all those things.
Great, thank you. I got an email question. Someone asked, you spoke of minority-owned, veteran-owned. Will women-owned and LGBT-owned be considered as well? I guess that's in terms of like vendors or
contracting opportunities, professional services.
This is Warren. Absolutely. As an example, right now, one of our major suppliers is a women-owned business, Cavalier Produce, who supplies all of our operations in the Virginia area. Woman-owned business out of Charlottesville, Virginia. We have a history of working with women-owned businesses and will continue to do so, as well as transgender, LGBTQ. Absolutely, we will embrace all businesses.
Thank you. A question from the chat. Data shows that for every $1 of tax revenue, citizens must pay at least triple to deal with negative consequences. Can you provide a specific example of how any of your casinos have had a positive impact on the community surrounding it? And how is the $100 million payment not to be considered a bribe?
So I'll talk about the $100 million first, then I'll send it to Phil to talk about some of the things we've done throughout the country. But the $100 million is a commitment and a sign of commitment to the city and a sign of our confidence in our ability to generate revenues for the city over a long-term duration. We would not be capable or willing to expend that amount of money if we didn't think we could get it into the city and perform well. So it's really a testament to us in our ability to drive that business for the long term, and it's a demonstration to the city that we're a committed partner. And Phil, can you mention some of the stuff we've done throughout the country to demonstrate our commitment to the communities.
Well, yeah, there are so many programs that we participated in. They were listed somewhere. I apologize. That's actually not in my information right here, but our employees are integrated into the community in so many different ways that they do so many different volunteer things, and we encourage that. And it's a list that I could provide anyone who needed it, and it's extensive. Okay, but I think also I want to take just a little bit of a right turn here. The Richmond Rewards program and the way we have worked with local vendors in our programs when we are soliciting customers, where we use the businesses that are in the community to do just that. It has been an exceptional success, and consequently, the businesses around us kind of love us because we're always thinking of these creative ways to incorporate them into our experience. And so that's one phase. But then the whole employee effort that all our companies make is kind of legendary. We're very proud of it, and it's in our material somewhere. And I apologize for not having it handy, but believe me, it is extensive.
Thank you.
Thank you. Jason, I am unmuting you. Go ahead and ask your question aloud.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yep.
All right. For the veterans out there, so with the documented nearby approximately 700 feet from your site removal of African American graveyard for the purpose of investor prospecting, and with evidence that there is a defunct African American historic artifacts to include grave sites on your proposed land, do you intend to do a formal gravesite study? And if so, will you remove and relocate the graves as you come across them, or will you designate a historical place on your proposal for these people?
Yeah, I'll send it over to the Timmons group, but we've investigated this matter, and we've thoroughly investigated, and we really have no reason to believe there are any graves. Drew, do you have any more on that?
Yeah, I'll second that. I mean, Timmons Group has had the opportunity to work on this property for many years. We've done field work, wetland investigations. We've been boots on the ground on this site for many years. We have not seen any indication of grave sites. I'll also say too that one of the first steps in development will be an extensive topographic survey of this site, which will identify any type of resource or marker that's on the site. So again, we do not expect to find that based on our past experience.
Okay, from my email, did the economic assessment take into consideration the 4 other casinos? Did it take into consideration competitors? The answer is yes, it did take into consideration the different competition when they did their analysis. And then that same person asked, can council outright deny the preferred operator that is chosen?
The answer to that question is council does have the ability, if it so chooses, to vote no as we submit the preferred operator and site to it. It takes a vote of council to petition, or it takes city council to petition the court so that there is a measure on the ballot for the November 2nd referendum.
Okay. Does anyone on the phone want to voice a question aloud? If you're on the phone, press *6 to unmute, or just mute your phone itself. Try both things.
Can you hear me? This is Patricia.
Yes, Patricia, go ahead.
So the fact that one of the speakers said that there will be views of the James suggests that the height of the buildings will be so high that it towers over our precious family-friendly community. And there are elementary schools, middle schools, and high schools within close proximity. Can you clarify why and how a casino is safe for young children to have in close proximity?
Thanks for the question. I'll send that over to the Timmons group. Drew?
So the proposed, the highest structure on the site is the hotel structure. That's about 20 stories, so it is a tall building. The other structures on site, the casino, which is the largest building, that's a single story, so it's relatively short. The parking garage, we expect to be about 3 stories, so again, it's relatively low. You know, one of the benefits of the site and how we position the development on the site is that it's essentially in a bowl. We've chosen this area of the site for a couple reasons. One, it is much lower elevation than the development and the homes along Forest Hill Avenue. It's about 40 feet lower, or essentially 4 stories lower. So that's a good thing. But it will be visible. The very top of the casino will be visible from some points. The neighborhoods, the nearest neighborhood is about a quarter mile away through, you know, forested buffer. We're leaving, you know, most of the trees on the site that we can. Almost 40% of our site remain undisturbed as a way to maintain and preserve that buffer. So we do understand that concern, and we're working on ways to address it.
There's also a highway perimeter. It's the wooded area. There's also railroad tracks there. So we're working through those buffers on the site that have a standoff from the local community.
Thank you. Bourbon, you are unmuted. You can ask your question aloud.
In the time. So I am both a landowner on Gravel Hill with a residential property that is 50 feet from the edge of the proposed site, so a little less than a quarter of a mile, and also an ecologist at a local university. So large natural tracts of land such as this serve as critical habitat for maintaining viable populations of species that we find in our patchwork of habitats in the city. I've seen firsthand from my adjoining property all the animals that do use this area, and I can assure you, through my professional opinion, that its loss will have repercussions that reach much further than your property line. Also, in my professional opinion, there is no world in which our wildlife or development can coexist. So, Bally's, how do you justify choosing to destroy one of our last remaining unprotected green spaces when there are so many available industrial lands?
Yeah, Drew, thanks for the question. Drew has spoken about the environmental considerations that we've examined as we present this project. And if we have more questions on that, we look forward to continuing the dialogue about how we can continue to mitigate environmental issues.
Leonard, is there one from the chat that you?
Sure. Yeah. So one question about the proposed Richmond Rewards. How much will it cost for local businesses to be a part of the Richmond Rewards virtual mall?
Phil?
There will be no cost other than cost that the entrepreneur or the business brings to itself. Okay, we're not going to charge anybody to get in on the deal. Okay, as a matter of fact, when we build this relationship with this business, there's more to it than even the rewards that I described. For example, that business now becomes a distribution point for us because we want to work with them. For example, let's say a show, we've got a show in town, a nice show, big show, and we're selling tickets to it, or a boxing match, we're selling tickets. We're going to give the opportunity of that business to use the tickets as a lure into the business, right? Where, for example, we'll say, listen, sell a ticket for us, and there'll be one free ticket if you sell one ticket, and you guys can put rules of engagement in on your own. For example, if you're a restaurant, you'll say buy a meal and you can get a free ticket and buy one ticket, stuff like that, where we'll coordinate with the businesses in addition to the Richmond Rewards. But the specific answer to the question is we're not going to charge the businesses anything to be a part of it. We just, the only issue we'll have is how many businesses can we accommodate? Okay.
Thank you,
and
Phil.
I think quite a few.
Thank you. So one question that came into the email is, how much will Richmond taxpayers have to pay to update the infrastructure outside the casino? Leonard, can you talk to that?
Sure. The city of Richmond, our Richmond taxpayers, we are not on the hook. We will not be on the hook for anything related to infrastructure, offsite or on-site, related to this project or any of the other proposed projects. Also, there will be no exemptions, no abatements, no incentives, no public financing, nothing. Any and everything that the proposers will have to do, will be required to do, it will be at 100% at their own expense.
Another question, this one goes to the team. How does your project fit with the Richmond 300 plan or the RVA Green 2050 plan?
So I've seen a lot of the comments blowing up that I was giving a non-answer on the environmental question. But Drew from Timmins is our impact expert and environmental impact expert. So I'll send it over to answer this question. And if I didn't answer the previous question, then we could try to cover that as well.
So obviously, I'll commend the city on their recent completion of the Richmond 300 plan. We will work with the planning department to integrate this program in making consistent with the master plan. There's also an entitlement process with this piece of land, so we'll have to work with staff, through that process. And I think that's an excellent opportunity whereby we can incorporate the city's goals with respect to environment, traffic and transportation, stormwater management, all the different aspects that the city is looking forward to gain out of this development.
Also, for those who may be wondering, at least I'm saying one comment. Questions are not being cherry picked in terms of the chat. The questions are being asked in order as there are questions about the project. Also, individuals are being called on in order that have their hands raised. And in addition to that, as emails are being sent to Maritza, she is pulling those as well. So thank you all for your patience. There's a lot of interest, lots of questions. We're just working to get through them all.
And try to, if your question's kind of already been answered, maybe don't let other people ask new questions potentially. Someone wrote, what is your response to Al Sharpton? On March 16, 2020, Sharpton wrote, Twin Rivers, which is Bally's, which is now known as Bally's, has a long history of failing to support its employees. And he talks about track record of causing mass layoffs for workers, especially workers of color. Can you respond to that question?
Yeah, it's not a true statement. We supported our workers in Rhode Island for decades. We have supported all of our employees at every property we've acquired in the past several years. As Warren mentioned, the way we treat our employees is reflected on how our employees treat our guests. And we're in the hospitality industry fundamentally. And to mistreat our employees is to not self-serving at all. It's self-sabotaging, as we would be disrupting our guests who fund our business.
Here's a question. Thank you. Here's a question from the chat. How is the project expected to impact public safety and the surrounding areas and the hospital?
Drew?
Sure. So as part of the planning process and the permitting and approval process with the city, we will work closely with the city's fire and emergency services staff to identify the most quickest and convenient means of ingress and access to the site, making sure that the response time is appropriate, and any other concerns or questions that they have. So we are very familiar with working with their staff, making these sites as safe and as accessible as absolutely possible.
And Drew, also another follow-on in the chat in terms of the new proposed traffic patterns or traffic infrastructure. Just any feedback on how it will bottleneck Jank, Midlothian, and Chippenham Hospital?
Yeah, so we have looked at the traffic volumes, particularly at the intersection of Jank and Boulders Parkway and Boulders Parkway Extended. That particular corridor has tremendous capacity, and even with the added traffic from the Bally's project, it services extremely well from a traffic perspective. There may be some minor intersection improvements, left turn lane, an extended right turn lane, things like that at that particular intersection. But we are very comfortable that road pathway is more than adequate to handle the traffic volume that will be directed that direction.
All right, thank you.
Shayna Sweezy, I unmuted you. You can ask your question aloud.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can.
Great. I was actually hoping to ask a question about turkey vulture habitats. However, I noticed that no one really answered the question regarding the schools. So your site is 1.8 miles from Elijah House, 2 miles from El Murray Brown, 2.8 from Southampton Elementary, 2.5 from Crestwood Elementary, and 2.5 miles from Huguenot High School. That's less than a 7-minute drive to any of these, if not less. Why do you think it's appropriate to put a casino in such close proximity to 5 schools?
So our ingress egress from a traffic route is coming from major highways, but to try to answer your question, there are schools in the city of Richmond. The casino has to be put in the city of Richmond. So to what extent would a casino in a different location be abutting and your proposed distances from other schools in other backyards as opposed to this location, which is abutting the districts and schools that you discussed? The casino is going to be in the city of Richmond, and we feel this is the best casino to serve all of Richmond.
Thank you, Michael.
Can you talk about, so someone asked about planning to address protections around stormwater management, Virginia Water Protection Compliance Program, Chesapeake Bay Preservation Act, and resource protection area requirements. So I guess, and this is like generally from things in the chat, just like how you comply with state and federal and local water design.
Drew.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to speak to that. So Timmons Group has done a wetland and stream delineation on the site. That delineation has been confirmed by the Corps, so we know exactly where all the wetlands and streams are. We've taken that information and delineated the resource protection areas that are offset from that. There are significant resource protection areas on the site, and our site plan is respecting those. We've clustered the development in the southwest corner of the site to avoid those environmental resources. From a stormwater perspective, in a Chesapeake Bay Preservation Act perspective, any land development that we're doing, both land disturbance and impervious surface that are added to the site, will be captured in a stormwater best management practice that will be used to detain the water, essentially slow it down, dissipate the energy before it reaches the receiving channel. It will also be treated from a water quality perspective. So we will be removing sediment as well as phosphorus and nitrogen from the stormwater runoff before it reaches these environmental resources.
Andrew, will you clarify one thing in case the question is out there and we just haven't gotten to it yet? Are there any federal or state permits, environmental regulatory permits that are required or that this project would have to seek to move forward with this development if it's put forward as the preferred operator in site and if Richmond voters ultimately were to vote yes for it?
Yes, there are some state and federal permits, environmental permits that would be needed in order to gain access to the parking garage and the porte cochere of the casino. We do have to cross the stream, and so there's a permit needed to do that. The regulations allow perpendicular crossings, essentially to minimize the impacts to those streams. So we will need permits for those. Those permits are pretty straightforward, given the extent that we have avoided other environmental resources on the site. That will be a pretty straightforward permit to obtain.
Thank you.
I just unmuted Rebecca D'Angelo. Go ahead and ask your question aloud. Rebecca? Okay, I'm going to go to Trent Park. Oh, I hear you. Oh, great.
Yeah. Sorry. I think some of the questions were answered, but I was wondering, like the janitors, are they going to be contract employees? Other people asked the same question, or are they going to be paid at the $15 or the $25 an hour? Or are they going to find a way to pay them next to nothing and not give them health insurance? Also, I had other environmental questions that were pretty much the same as other.
Yeah. Thank you.
Warren, you want to take this?
Yeah, absolutely. No, absolutely. All of our associates will be paid at least $15 an hour. And they'll also have opportunities for promotions, both within our project there and other opportunities in the market. So absolutely, they will be taken care of.
And on that point, I want to pass it over to Phil to talk about some of the stories that have occurred of people who have started in entry-level roles in casinos and what he's seen them do in their careers.
And actually, if I may, gentlemen, and any ladies that are on the line also with your team, again, we have a queue of 34 folks who have their hand raised and lots of questions, and we're at 7:35, and I just want to make sure we're able to get through as many of these as possible.
Also, Lynn Papas, we can see you. Turn off your camera, please.
Okay, just following up on Mike's request, we pride ourselves as being an employer of choice, okay? And what you have to do to be competitive in this world, you have to make sure that you understand the marketplace and understand how you have to treat employees and what kind of packages you must offer. And we compete with anybody. We work in complete union environments and we work in non-union environments. But I can safely say that we are embraced as operators in all the places that we work, and I visit all of them. I've from the deep south in Biloxi to Kansas City, and I'll be out on the West Coast shortly. We just pride ourselves on taking care of four constituents, right? The customer, the employee, the shareholder, and the community. If we don't do it well in all four of those constituents, if we don't serve them well, we know we fail. And I hope that puts some perspective on who we are as a company.
Thank you, sir. Folks, there's one question about where people can get a copy of the details of the new traffic plan, and will a detailed environmental analysis be available?
Yeah, we can distribute that, and I know Timmons. I don't know if people want to see it now. They can put some slides up, but I imagine they want to take time to review it. So we figured out a way to distribute that either on our website or through another venue.
Thank you. I'm sorry, Marisa.
Let me see. There's so many places where I'm getting questions from. You know, anyone on the phone want to unmute and
Yes.
go ahead.
So I've lived in this neighborhood now since I've grown up here. So I'm
We have one
hello.
person talking right now. Go ahead, ma'am.
Okay. So I'm curious, as you said that you want to be part of the neighborhood and part of the community, but this community is families and residents and small businesses, and this community in particular has really started to turn a corner with great restaurants and a good music scene and coffee shops and all these local things. And I don't hear you talking much about the residents and the families and the kids who live here and the investment in the community that you're actually going to make beyond responsible gaming. So what do you propose to do for the neighbors, for the residents here? Because you're not moving into a city, you're moving into a residential suburb of the city.
Thank you.
Warren, do you want to talk about that, please?
Part of the $100 million upfront payment that we're making is once again to allow Richmond to immediately have an impact on the schools. Okay, I know the school district in Richmond, and like many districts, resources are thin. We did not try to suggest or make a decision for you, the city of Richmond, as to how that money should be spent. We're giving it to you up front. Secondly, I believe that the economic benefit we will bring to the city will help keep the tax base lower, the real estate tax base. So that will help the residents of the city and the community. Now, when you talk about the immediate community, I think Phil's program, the rewards program, will definitely
The rewards
benefit this.
program does nothing.
Excuse me, ma'am, please allow him to finish answering the question.
We're not doing back and forth between folks. Thank you.
Right. I believe the rewards program will allow small entrepreneurs to participate and to have crossover of the customers coming from the casino to the local shops. But also, we will be bringing some of those local businesses, the coffee shop you mentioned. So for example, we will have a coffee shop in the food court of the project. If it's a local coffee shop that would like to bring the brand internally, we will be happy to consider that. So we will actively work with the local businesses to make sure that the casino and the project is well integrated with the community.
What about the residents?
No, I'm sorry. We're not going back and forth asking multiple questions. There's so many people on the call. Trent Park, go ahead and ask your question.
Yes, thank you very much.
Can you hear me?
No, we're doing Trent Park.
This is Trent Park.
Thank you.
The map that Timmons Group presented seems to be oddly cropped. I believe just to the left of that, where it's in Chesterfield County, the entrance and exits there. I wonder what's going on with the design when it goes down to the road down there and why that was cropped out. And also, since that's in the county, would that require county board approval or county resident approval to have this development created?
Thank you, Trent. You can go ahead and turn off your camera now. Thank you for the question.
Thanks for the question, Trent. Drew?
So, the main proposed access that we have is a new road constructed from the Bally site down underneath the existing underpasses of Poway Parkway that ties into the intersection of Boulders Parkway and Jank Road. We've looked at that intersection. We've looked at that connection. It has a lot of capacity, but the resident asks a question of, is Chesterfield County approval needed for this? The answer to that is yes. Part of this road, most of this road is in Chesterfield County. So we would need approval and permits from Chesterfield County.
But let me just do some quick rapid fire ones from the chat. Folks, these are yes, no questions or one or two word answers. do you have to gamble to obtain Richmond Rewards? Yes or no?
No.
Yes.
I mean,
Sorry, one person said yes, another person said no, I thought. So
No. A customer would have to gamble to earn Richmond Rewards. Yes.
okay, thank you. How many motor coaches do you anticipate weekly, and where will they park?
That's not determined at this point in time. It's possible that we would have a motor coach program, but if they park, they would park so that they're easily able to access the casino. And I think and it will be unobtrusive to the community is how they arrive. We'll address all that. In our ingress and egress plan addresses all that.
And if your project is approved as the preferred operator in site and voters approve it during the referendum, when do you anticipate opening the casino?
Michael, where were we? We at 2 years? Did we lose Mike?
Sorry. Towards the end of 2022.
Thank you. Back to you, Maritza.
Brady, I will unmute you and you can ask the question aloud. Brady?
Hello?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you spoke earlier about your relationship with the laborers. There'll need to be multiple trades to build and operate this facility. Would you be willing to meet with the operating engineers concerning the construction and maintaining of the facility?
Yes. The answer is yes.
All trades are and will be spoken to, union or non-union. Obviously, it takes very skilled workforce to build something of this magnitude. And so we believe that any and all trade groups, construction groups, will be spoken to in order to optimize and maximize the talent pool. So the answer to your question is yes, we would be open to that for sure.
Thank you. Does anyone on the phone want to ask a question?
Yes, can you hear me?
I can. Go ahead.
Can you hear me? Oh, perfect. My question is this. What has Bally's contribution been to the city of Richmond and its citizens prior to any of the casino business or any of the potential casino operators business? It's obvious that community was the last thing on your list as you list your priorities. So I want to know, what did you do for the community prior to this opportunity?
Thank you.
Well, let me take that. This is Warren. I think you have to look at our partnership in totality. And as I mentioned, my company has been very active in the Richmond community for the last 25 years. We've built and rebuilt the Virginia Union operation twice. I've recently opened as a partner at the Common House, which is a very nice private club on Broad Street there in Richmond, a multi-million-dollar investment to bring a nice facility to Richmond that is very inexpensive to join, and it's a facility that I'm very proud of because it promotes the coming together of people from different communities into that operation and to that location. So we've been very active with charities and organizations, the NAACP, organizations in Richmond for the last 25 years, and we will continue to do so. Another program I'm very proud of is any student, any one of our associates who has a son or daughter, brother or sister, who attends one of the institutions where we provide food service, we've picked up the board plan for those students while they're there for the 4 years. That's a $4,000 benefit that has benefited many of the students who've attended Virginia Union, Virginia State, Norfolk State. who are associates of ours from the Richmond community. That program will continue.
Thank you. Maritza?
Okay, I am going to unmute someone who I tried before and they couldn't answer. It was KA. KA, please go ahead. You have to unmute on your end of the line on your computer to speak. Okay, I will try again later. They had sent me some questions via email, so I will ask one of the questions that they asked. Is your casino planning on serving alcohol 24/7?
We'll be in alignment with whatever the regulations are or whatever the municipality ordinances are, whatever the liquor license really allows. But it depends on the city by city, state by state, how we operate throughout the country.
Thank you. Leonard, have you seen anything in the chat?
Yes, I do. There was just a clarification on the question on the jobs. I say there will be 2,000 jobs. Are these full-time or FTE, full-time equivalent? If FTE, will they be eligible for benefits? And so can you speak a little more about the split between full-time and part-time, and what will qualify someone to be able to earn benefits?
Mike, you want me to take this?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. You have to work a certain number of hours within a stipulated time to get full benefits. We anticipate that this particular project will be replete with full-time benefits. I mean, people are going to work full-time. Part-time comes in when after we originally design the whole plan and see what kind of business levels there are. At some point in time, part-time may come in, but this particular project at the outset will have mostly full-time employees, with benefits, good benefits, I might add, very good benefits, the match in 401k and we're very competitive. We have to be competitive in order to survive, and we're very proud of it. And as I said before, we consider ourselves an employer of choice.
Thank you. Maritza?
Okay, I will go to Carrie Evans. I'm allowing you to unmute.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. My question was, Jonathan Young did a survey of the 4th District, and so far less than 10% of people who live in the 4th District, which is where this Bally site is, to be located, approve of the site. I'm just wondering, would Bally consider an alternate location if they're considered to be the best operator, but in a location that's not desirable to the immediate community?
I will jump in and on that question. The city, with our RFP process, we require each entity organization who desired to submit a proposal to identify their site, and those are the sites that we are in the process of evaluating as a part of our RFP process. One quick question from the chat. You mentioned inclusion, but there were no references to the Latino community on the slides. Why would you exclude Latinos?
Well, go ahead. Willie or?
We are not excluding anyone. And as we move forward, we will be partnering with a wide variety of people who represent and will reflect Richmond. whether it's through bringing in their businesses into the casino, providing services. We will be open to all groups. Willie?
And we just want to be clear that some of the groups that we have spoken to represent all minority groups. For example, the Carolinas and Virginia Minority Business Organization. It is not just regulated to African Americans whatsoever. So, well, that is one example of that. That organization supports all minority groups across the country and actually the world, to be honest with you. But the key here is that we believe that extending opportunities to all segments of the population is something that is near and dear to us, and we will make sure we would deliver on that responsibility.
I have a question from email. The other proposals highlighted how close they would be located to areas of Richmond that are in particular needs of jobs, and provided programs for helping employees to get to and from work, including 24/7 shuttles. What areas of Richmond do you plan on focusing to recruit, and where would they be located, etc.? How are you going to get people to and from work, and where are you trying to get people from to be employed there?
This is Willie, and we understand that access to jobs based on transportation is very important. All working citizens do not have stable and capable private transportation. With that being said, we have started discussions with GRTC, as well as looking at funding our own private bus service that will be allowed to support with designated areas the opportunity for people to get to and from work. That is not fleshed out yet, but we are working and strategically understand that that is a responsibility that we will bear so that people have access to the quality jobs that we are referencing here.
Does anyone on the phone want to unmute and *6 or unmute your phone to ask your question aloud?
Yes, please. Can you hear me?
Okay, I want the man who said, "Can you hear me?" because he said that twice before. Let's have him go first,
yes.
Please.
Yes, my name is Jay Lockwood, and I live in Jackson Ward. I truly believe that this is the best opportunity to enrich this community of Richmond. How will you ensure that underserved communities will have access to these jobs, including the construction site?
Well, thank you for that question. We understand that construction has been an industry that has not been friendly to minorities across the country, and including Richmond, Virginia. We can say that here, that we will make sure that we extend these opportunities so we do not just go far and deep, we would go far and wide with these opportunities. Clearly, we would have relationship with training programs that allow people to develop the construction skills, as well as working with our subcontractors and making sure that they hold the right opportunities for diverse and City of Richmond citizens to benefit from this. As we said earlier, we will have a local hire commitment for the City of Richmond so we can ensure that a strong quantity of these jobs are going to the city. And we understand that because construction takes time to learn the skills and trades, we must be a community partner to ensure those that have been disenfranchised will have the opportunity to work beside skilled craftsmen to learn the skills of construction so that this project will be a catalyst for future long-term career work in the construction industry. So let me tell you for sure that we are doing that, and we will continue to make sure that we support the needs of people who need to learn construction, because it can and is a very strong industry that allows for people to take care of their families and set their life up for a nice lifestyle.
Leonard, can I embellish that?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, so outside the construction industry and the jobs related to that, this is an opportunity to take young people that are not pursuing the educational track and looking for great jobs. We train those people to be dealers, slot attendants. We have schools. We bring them in. We teach them. And listen, I'm an old school teacher from Atlantic City, high school. And I used to watch those kids in my class and wondering where they were going to work. And when gaming came to Atlantic City, they prospered. And I enjoyed watching it happen. That same thing is going to happen in Richmond, where we're going to take people who would struggle to find great employment. They're going to find great jobs. And here's the irony of that. So many of the people that run this industry today, general managers, corporate people, started in those jobs, those entry-level jobs. Our general manager now in Vicksburg, right, started as a slot attendant in Vicksburg. He's now a general manager. He's an African-American fella. He was in our video that we presented. You know, there's a lot of heartwarming stories that are related to what we do to get people up and ready to work in our facilities.
Thank you, Phil. So everyone, the time is 7:58. We're really thankful that there's still 283 people engaged and plugged in, and so we're going to keep pressing through to 8:30 with the Q&A, and so just asking everyone to please keep your comments and your questions as brief and as to the point as possible. Thank you.
Also, a note, we are unable to respond to chats, so just so you know, we literally cannot type in the chat box. I'm going to take a question from the link. David and Kay Lynch, I'm unmuting you.
All right, thank you, Maritza. This is a follow-up to the alcohol question that was asked earlier. I believe in the state of Virginia, alcohol can't be served past 2 a.m. However, I noticed in other states like Maryland and West Virginia that the casinos lobbied and got permission to serve alcohol 24/7. I am wondering whether if the state has a rule of 2 a.m., whether this casino will stick to that rule or whether they will lobby for all-night alcohol service. If the state says they can serve past 2 a.m., will they stay at 2 a.m. if the local bars and restaurants have to close at 2 a.m.?
We're not gonna lobby against what the current laws are. We'll abide by the current laws. We're not in the interest or the business of getting our customers intoxicated. We want to create a environment that's welcoming and people can relax and have a good time. But we'll abide by the laws. But in general, it's not in our best interest to just continue to pour alcohol down people's throats.
And we have extensive training for all our employees who serve alcohol to watch for those who are overserved, and everyone has to participate in that training.
I want to address some questions that have been asked. I'm going to summarize them generally, but about property values and how being near a casino might impact property values. And we have Suzanne Leckert from Convergent Strategies on the line. Suzanne, can you address property values and casinos from research that you've done? Suzanne and Convergent Strategies have worked across the world with casinos and have done a lot of research on this work.
Yes, thank you, Maritza. Yes, there have been some people citing this study by the National Association of Realtors. We have not found that study. We have not found sufficient methodology or data to back up those conclusions. The academic studies that we have reviewed, and particularly the studies currently being conducted in the state of Massachusetts, have indicated that that casinos in general have either no impact on property values. Sometimes it's a slight impact, but that in general, other macroeconomic factors in a region have much more of an impact on property values than a casino has been in the U.S. in the last decade.
Thank you, Suzanne. I'm seeing some bad comments between people on the chat. Please treat each other with respect, and don't call people out in bad ways. That's just not
remove them, Maritza, please.
So that's my warning. If I see it again, you're done. I don't want to see it. It's not very kind. Let's just stick to the topic on hand, which is listening to Bally's and asking them questions. Thank you, Suzanne. I'm going to unmute and I will call Ann Taylor.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Hi, thank you. I wanted to reiterate the question about the, I just wanted to address that some of the questions about the specifically community residents haven't really been answered, especially as it pertains to like the Richmond Rewards program isn't really, I think, relevant. But my specific question is how, excuse me, I don't necessarily trust national corporations to have the best interests of my neighbors and my community at heart. How many council people have read the comments in the city website bubble commenting system?
Thank you. You can turn off your camera and mute yourself again. So we are reading all the comments and we are going to summarize them. They will all be totally available, and then we are going to summarize them in a report, and we're going to share that next week after the comments close.
And we have no insight. Yeah, we can't speak to what council members have or have not read.
Right.
And then as it relates to the community, I know, Willie, I didn't know his tech was back up and running. When some of those questions, as it directly relates to the community, I didn't give, Willie, I didn't think he had a chance to answer. So if you have any more to say, Willie, as a representative of Richmond.
Yes. So my family, my father, has started a long career of supporting his hometown, which became my hometown. Through all of his years of being a former football player, he has dedicated his life to the city of Richmond, Virginia, by supporting many, many, many philanthropic opportunities and issues throughout the city of Richmond, be it showing up at various events or giving of his time and so forth. He has instilled in myself and my extended family of what we need to do to support our hometown. With that being said, long before casinos came to Richmond, long before any of the development opportunities that showed up from a private sector standpoint, we began supporting our neighborhoods. And let's talk about Virginia Union University. We understood that housing had been long escaped that community over there. So we showed up and we built a $103.12 million apartment building right at the front door of Virginia Union University to support quality housing, affordable housing for not just students, but other employees in that marketplace. And because of that investment, that created over $100 million of either current or forecasted opportunities in that corridor. Most recently, one of my father's longtime dreams was to be able to create equality for communities that have been disenfranchised. With that being said, Virginia Union has a 100-year-old football field that is the second oldest football field in the country. And through his efforts, he led the financial task of getting monies allocated for a brand new turf field at that stadium, Hovey Field, for Virginia Union University. I would say that we have been pleased to support even that type of community outreach, but I want to make sure that it's not just targeted towards Virginia Union University. Across the city of Richmond, through the Richmond Public Schools, scholarship monies have been given over the years, as I said earlier, and I think I can go on and on and on, but I want to really make sure that when it comes to giving back to this city, the Lanier family has done its fair share and will continue to do that with the philanthropic support of the Bally Corporation as we move forward, and hopefully we'll be given the opportunity to make it through the RFP process and show the city of Richmond how much more we can and will do.
And I know you described this as a large corporation, but we're relatively new as a large corporation. When I started the company 3 years ago, we were a 3-property corporation, and we weren't publicly traded. And one of the reasons we've been able to grow successfully is that in every community that we operate, the community has been our priority. and we want to continue to do the right thing by the community. In the coming weeks, we look forward to engaging with you in small town halls down in the city. So stay tuned for that.
Thank you very much. A couple of quick rapid fires from the chat. Will there be a rooftop bar? Yes or no?
Yeah, that is the plan.
Okay. And does Bally plan to maintain ownership? How many of your casinos have you sold in the past?
So we're in the process of acquiring, not selling. We well, upon closing in about the middle of the summer, we will have 15 casinos in 11 states, starting, as Mike said, from that one in 2010. But since from two years ago, we've added several. So we haven't sold any yet. But I know, I'm pretty sure I worked there. I'm pretty sure we haven't sold any.
Thank you. Maritza, back to you. You're on mute.
Brian Dina, I'm unmuting you. I'm trying to unmute you. There we go. Go ahead, Brian. Michael Raff, you're up next.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
So I live just off Forest Hill, about a mile from the site. So my question is, and I guess this goes to the Timmins guy, how does all the equipment and the materials and the workers get to the site before the roads are built?
Excellent question. We'll have to figure that out. We've given that some consideration. Some of it may come through Forest Hill Avenue if that's agreeable to the city. We would coordinate that through, time of day restrictions to make sure that there's no impact to traffic. There are potentially other access options depending upon the timing of other off-site road improvements to the timing of the site construction.
Leonard, this is a question you asked to the other ones. Can you guys talk about your green building practices, or if you're going to be building to LEED standards?
Drew?
Sure. So we have had lots of conversations with Bally's about their commitment to the environment, their commitment to low impact development, their commitment to sustainable design practices, both from the site and the building. So we will look to incorporate green initiatives throughout the design and construction process. We may consider LEED. We haven't determined if we'll do that or to what level, but in my mind, it's more important that we focus in on the sustainable design elements, the low impact development considerations of the design.
Actually, Drew, since your video is up, two-part questions from two different folks in the chat. What kind of delay with zoning issues with the city, Chesterfield County, Vdot, RMTA, and likely environmental agencies cause?
Good question. So we have looked at, for every road improvement option that we have considered, we've looked at a best case and a worst case time frame for both the permitting and the construction. And all of those time frames fit within the city's requirements for schedule to bring the casino online. So that's an important consideration. With respect to the entitlement process through the city, there will be either a special use permit needed or a rezoning for this property. It's currently zoned R2, so we will have to go through an entitlement process. We'll need the city's support through that. We'll obviously work with city staff to adjust the design to meet the requirements of that new zoning.
Okay.
I
And
want
also,
to remind people to remain, to have, remain civil. You can have strong opinions, but don't attack people personally. That is not acceptable.
Maritza, please remove them from the meeting.
Okay.
Drew, another question. Has Chesterfield County and Vdot been consulted about the new proposed entrance road off of Jank?
We have contacted both VDOT and Chesterfield County to discuss these road improvement options. Chesterfield County has reached out to us and expressed interest to learn more about the project and specifically what's being proposed. So we will be reaching out to them to set up a meeting. Likewise, we have contacted VDOT to talk through the approval process, and there will be follow-up discussions with them as well.
Thank you very much. Can we go back to questions from individuals?
Yes, there's one that was someone who I had called on. They were unable to unmute, I think. They said the area surrounding the proposed casino is not an industrial region. It is not an area with a big nightlife scene. The area is suburban and older established neighborhoods with young families and children. What value does your casino provide to young families in the area focused on the development of their young children? What amenities or features or values are provided to families?
Well, certainly the gaming aspect is not available to children, but the F&B, the entertainment, the pool, the hotel, the spa, all those things are available. There's rules and regulations and security concerns keeping younger children off the gaming floor, but you can take your family for dinner. You could go to the spa with your child. It's that opportunity's there.
Yeah, and some of our properties, two of them in particular, our event center is very very available to the community, and they use it quite a bit for all kinds of meetings, Chamber of Commerce meetings, different organizational meetings. Excuse me. In Dover, we have proms. We accommodate the proms. We keep the kids out of the casino, but we have weddings. So it's when I hear about the residents wondering about this place, I truly believe it's a facility that they're going to use, not to gamble necessarily, but with all the amenities Mike just described, and then in particular, the event center. It's very accessible, and I also would add that the seventh biggest casino in the world, which is in Lincoln, Rhode Island. Lincoln is a suburban town outside of Providence, and last I checked, and for the 12 years I've been with the company, we have a wonderful, fabulous relationship with them. And I'm sure they had the same concerns that are being addressed tonight before the place was expanded. It was a racetrack before it was expanded. But if you ask them now what kind of neighbor we are, I think we get glowing results.
And also, our site will has built into it parks and trails, and walking trails and free space that could be utilized by people of all ages.
Thank you. Susan C., I unmuted you. You can unmute yourself via MS Teams.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good, thank you. My question concerns security. I want to know, I understand that the casinos have their own security on site. However, what's going to happen off site? How is Richmond Police Department going to be able to manage any incidents? We already have high crime in the city. RPD is already stretched to the limit. And I want to know if someone could address this, because this is a concern being so close to a residential neighborhood? Second part question really quick. I've been to Bally's in Atlantic City. As long as you're gambling, you're offered free alcohol. I want to know if it's going to be the same way at this location. Thank you very much.
Leonard, on the crime location, or can we have Suzanne, because that's kind of a question that comes up a lot, crime around
Sure.
casinos. Suzanne, can you address kind of generally?
Sure, I'm absolutely happy to. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Yes, so that is something that we looked at specifically for the city. We looked at data from across the country, and then we also reached out to quite a few communities that have casinos and spoke with their public safety officials. Asked them what has been the impact of the casino on your city or your small town or community. And by and large, the response has been that that it's been really not much different than a large big box store like a Walmart. That any increases in crime that have been seen have been associated with increased number of people in the area. And then the data shows that in some areas surrounding casinos, that the per capita crime rates actually go down a bit. And that is due to the increased police presence and security presence that is typically required in with any casino license of the operator. And there's a bit more detail about that in our study that is posted to the city's website.
And to answer your drink question, it depends on the regulations and how they're fully formulated. Different jurisdictions we're in allow comp drinks. Different jurisdictions do not. In Rhode Island, for instance, there's no comp drinks. But we'll be in line with whatever the rules and regulations are.
Hey, Brian, Dina, I think I already took a question from you. There's so many. We're going to try and let me do one from the phone. Is anyone on the phone want to ask a question aloud?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I have a question.
The person who said I have a question gets to talk. The others, no.
Sorry. Thank you. My question was, they kind of got to it, but it didn't quite get to this point. Are y'all willing to hire people that have backgrounds? That's one of the, that have like maybe some type of record. I'm really concerned about those opportunities being available to them.
Thank you.
So, Mike, I'll go. First of all, I'm sure that the state will establish a licensing process, okay? So the individual must go through the licensing process. It's very detailed, and there's categories. There's, for executives, there's what is called a key license. I'm sure Virginia will have that status. Then there's a secondary license. And my experience with the licensing of individuals is that they are very forgiving for people who have been involved in situations early in their life or before they apply for a license. And once they indicate that a license is granted, then we pretty much use that as the background check that we need in order to move forward with hiring individuals. And then their interview and whatnot, just like any job, is important, how they conduct themselves in that, and then we move forward. But the licensing will be a critical path to securing a position in gaming.
Warren, to the extent the licensing process allows, can you speak to our desire to hire people from all different backgrounds?
Yes, absolutely. In the construction process, we have already signed an agreement with the union to help us supply and provide job opportunities to veterans, and as well as those that are re-entering the workforce who may have had some issue in their past. So we believe in that. Once we're up and operated, Phil is absolutely right as it relates to the gaming, but there are a lot of positions outside of the gaming area that we believe in giving people a second chance. And so we do that within Thompson Hospitality, and I'm sure that's a process we will have in the Bally's Thompson project as well.
Okay, thank you. We have 8 minutes in our allotted time and many hands. I'm going to let No Casino ask their question. Unmute, go ahead. Okay, Jesse McCoy. Oh no, I think she was about to speak. Go ahead, No Casino. Sometimes. Linda,
Can you
you're up next. Oh, I can hear you. Go ahead. Go
Okay,
ahead.
sorry, it was just a little bit delayed. This is for the Timmons Group. In terms of the best management practice, which, to remind everyone, is the facility that is supposed to slow down and filter the runoff that's going to be created from the new impervious area with the building of this casino. Is it going to be sized for the regular 10-year storm, or will it be sized accordingly to the more frequent 100-year storms that we've been seeing happen within the past few years that end up resulting in a lot of overflow and flooding issues?
Our plan is to design the stormwater infrastructure, both the stormwater BMPs and the drainage conveyance infrastructure to current city standards. So that's the 10-year storm, but we also do consider what happens in a 100-year event. We will essentially run the 100-year precipitation through our site to make sure that there are no ramifications or off-site drainage or flooding issues resulting from that.
Linda, I've unmuted you. Go ahead and ask a question.
Yes, this is a question for Drew, if he's still there.
Can you speak again?
This is a question for Drew, if he's still there.
He is.
Hi, Drew. We live to the west of the Poway, right close to Boulder Springs, and they have Boulder Parkway, and they have a problem of getting their employees out every day. How are we going to handle, the traffic going down the Parkway?
So good question. So Timmons Group corporate headquarters is actually on Boulders Parkway. So we're about a mile. My office is about a mile south of the intersection of Boulders Parkway and Jank. Boulders Parkway, that Boulders development, has extensive office buildings in there, most of which discharge their employees or release their employees right at 5 o'clock. So Chesterfield County actually comes out, rather than installing traffic lights on Boulders Parkway south of the intersection of Boulders and Jank, basically to direct traffic. But that only runs for about 30 minutes. And once you're down to the intersection of Boulders and Jank, that intersection moves extremely efficiently. I do that literally on a daily basis. Pre-pandemic, even that condition is a very efficient traffic intersection. We've modeled it, and there will not be any backups there.
Thank you. Leonard, I haven't really kept up with the chat. I've been kind of doing it.
No, just allow these probably 2 more questions, and then we'll be out of time for tonight.
I just saw Jesse McCoy. I'm going to allow you to unmute.
Yes, I have a question.
Okay.
You got me this time, Maritza. All right, so I have a question. Phil, I love that you anticipate 15 million people to use this as a tourist location. Are you going to be able to house 15 million people? Because the difference between this location and the others is there's no hotels besides yours. It's residential.
Well, I'm not sure. I didn't hear that great, but if I think there's a misunderstanding about the 15 million people. The 15 million people happens to be the size of our customer base, which gives us a great opportunity to attract people to Richmond, but by no means will it be 15 million people that are coming to Richmond. It'd just be they're the potential reach that we have versus the competitors whose reach is smaller. That's why we brought that up, and it's why we bring it to everyone's attention. Because remember, there's a bunch of projections out here, financial projections, that the certainty of those projections being reached are based upon our ability or the ability of the competitors to market the Richmond casino to their databases, and that's where we tried to feature the 15 million people as a larger database, and with the caveat, and if I were a Richmonder, I'd be real excited about this, with the caveat that our 15 million is so extensive and so spread out that tourism could be the big beneficiary in Richmond with the ability with the size of the database that we have, and it will grow even bigger. Whereas I think the other casinos have conflicts. They have casinos in the region, and they don't have that. I don't think they're going to be able to draw a widespread customer base. That's what the 15 million was about.
And we were projecting 3.7 million annual visitors, and that's going to be spread over 365 days, and that's to the casino. To help answer your question.
Okay.
I'm on the phone. May I say something?
Yes.
Hi. Yes, I've heard all three calls tonight.
Go ahead. Oh.
What is your question?
Can you try again? I think we lost you for a moment.
I'm here.
Okay.
And it just feels like the call last night, it seemed like the people in that district seem very welcoming of that casino. The ones tonight don't seem welcoming, nor did the ones the first night. And I feel like the presenters tonight don't really embrace what Richmond is about. And I'm wondering...
Excuse me, what is your question?
Okay. I'm wondering why they choose a casino in a residential area where it's going to bring a lot of traffic. And I know it's been addressed in certain ways, but if they're expecting all of these people to come in, and why are they doing that in this particular location rather than somewhere that's very easy to access for 15 million people coming to Richmond from the greater periphery?
The number 15 million is the projections, I think, from Convergent Strategies was more around like 3 million. That the 15 million is not, don't use 15 million as your number. That was him explaining their market.
For 3 million, and why would they pick something that's not as accessible to people coming from larger distances? This isn't a main road. This isn't 95. It isn't 64.
Thank you for your
Thank
question.
you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, to try to answer your question, we like the size of the site. We like the accessibility of the site. We like the buffer from that the main thoroughfares leading up to the site offer, and we like the size of it.
Thank you. Mark?
So
8:31.
It is 8:31, everyone. Thank you all so very much for staying engaged in this conversation, Q&A, and dialogue with the representatives from Bally. There's still 230 folks on the line. We greatly do appreciate, again, your comments, your questions, again, just to as you seek better and greater understanding and to be able to hear directly from the team that's proposing this project. As a reminder for everyone, the evaluation panel, which consists of 9 members, City Council Vice President Ellen Robertson, City Council Person Andreas Addison, Acting Chief Administrative Officer Lincoln Saunders, Deputy Chief Administrative Officer Sharon Ebert, Deputy Chief Administrative Officer Bob Steidel, Fire Chief Melvin Carter, Director of the Office of Community Wealth Building Valerie Mitchell, Maritza Peachin, and myself. We are the members of the evaluation panel. as we are reviewing the proposals, we will make a recommendation of a preferred casino operator and that respective site. We'll make that recommendation to Mayor Stoney, who will in turn introduce a series of ordinances and resolutions to City Council for City Council to consider. And City Council, it is their responsibility to decide whether or not they're going to move forward with petitioning the court for a voter referendum on November the 2nd. It is on November the 2nd that every voting Richmonder will have the opportunity to say yes or no as to whether or not they'd like to have that specific resort casino project and casino gaming in the city of Richmond. And so, again, we're thankful and just like to give the Bally's team an opportunity just to provide any closing comments if they'd like before we close out today.
Phil, can you bring us home?
Yeah. Thank you so much for this opportunity. If we are permitted, we will build a casino that all of Richmond will be proud of. But in particularly, our neighbors closest to us will realize that we are genuinely interested in being great neighbors. We will run a facility that is first class. We will be safe, and we will protect everyone's interest. We will provide great jobs for the community. We will institute the Richmond Rewards program, which will count small businesses in on the deal. And in the end, I'm sure some of the opinions that are obviously here tonight, as I'm looking at these, it will be completely turned around. And I'm proud to be with this company. Every place we have a facility, every place we have a casino, we are embraced, if not loved. Once again, 4 constituents, right? Customer, the employee, the shareholder, and the community. If we're not excellent in all 4 of those areas, we won't be successful, and we have been successful in everything we've done. Once again, thank you for the opportunity to talk to the people of Richmond, the people of the 4th District, and Leonard and Maritza, thank you very much.
Thank you all. And again, the video from tonight's meeting and the other meetings will be posted on the city's economic development webpage, specifically the Resort Casino website. Please, we encourage you to continue to go on and to post your comments and questions, and have a wonderful day, evening, and a great long weekend. Be well.